I've been a server since I was 15 years old and worked in the floral industry, both retail and in weddings and in sympathy. And there's a lot of grief overlapping all of those things. And something that I had to train myself to do instead of immediately reacting, because we live in a very reactive society, this happened, so that happened, is to actually invite the body to be a part of that conversation. And so if somebody hits me with, they're sitting in my chair, or they're sitting at my table, or they call on the phone and say, I'm ordering sympathy flowers from my father who just died, the first thing I do is take a very deep breath and then release it. And sometimes, especially over the phone, to allow the person I'm with to actually hear me exhaling that, because it can be really helpful to, when you receive traumatizing information, to almost invite the person who is transmitting this grief information to you as well, to invite them into that space of breath too. They may also be holding their breath, or they may also need a pause that looks like that. So before any words come out of my face, when I'm in my best place, when I'm not stressed as all get out, oftentimes the news will whack me over the head, and I'll just, and then something that I've also tried really hard to do is not to start with platitudes, because we also live in a society of like, how do we say the right thing and then move on from this? Say the right thing and move on from this. Heavy air quotations around both of those things, because rightness is a construct and moving on is another construct, and neither of those feel appropriate in grief. But what's the truth that's happening right now? That sounds like a really hard thing. How is this impacting you right now? That's so frustrating. That's so hard. I remember you talking about them. Tell me more. It really kind of depends on the context of their relationship. If they were a total stranger to me, they're calling over the phone and ordering flowers for a sympathy arrangement, I am so saddened to hear that. And also acknowledge that this logistical task is now your burden to order flowers. Did they have a favorite color, a favorite sports team, something that we can incorporate into the arrangement? How can I redirect this in a way that feels like I'm also getting to know you and your grief? If they're a regular customer at the restaurant where I'm at, oh my gosh, I've heard you talk about your sister before. I am so sad to hear that, because I realize how big a part of your life she was. And you're not required to say more things than that. I think by taking a deep breath with them and then acknowledging as much truth as you can possibly know about the person at the time is enough of a starting place to go off of.